Fellas, welcome to Nite Cap.
Welcome.
How's it going tonight?
Tuesday.
All right, Land Geek Nation, here we go. Tonight's topic, are you feeling overwhelmed about which real estate model to go with in 2025? There's a lot of them. Flipping, Airbnbs, multifamily, single family, commercial, storage units, mobile home parks, RV parks. So you're not alone if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But what if we told you could close your first land deal in 90 days without knowing a thing about real estate starting out? So tonight, we're breaking down the simple, no fluff, Mike Zano, no fluff roadmap that takes total beginners from zero knowledge to their first profitable land deal. No fancy strategies, no experience required, a clear path, a little bit of mindset, and you need a little bit of guts, right? And Mark's on vacation. Mark the Land Geek's on vacation. So things might go a little off the rails tonight.
We might have a little more alcohol than usual.
Cheers.
I'll have an extra non-alcoholic beer. That'll be great.
Sounds great.
Crazy.
Slow it down.
So I'm Scott Bossman, known as Dude Buddy, the Nite Cap OG. That's
OG.
I never called myself that before, but it's nice. And I'm joined tonight by John Burnett, Handsome Rob. I call him 8 is enough Burnett. He's got so many kids.
Many
John, how's it going tonight?
Yeah, it's going good. It's sunny in northern Idaho. We went to the pool yesterday with my 35 kids. It was awesome. I went down to the water slide with every single one of them. So life is good.
Ooh, that's all good. Love to hear that.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a water slide day. You can't beat that, right? And then we also have Mike Zano, breathe in the mailing, breathe out the marketing, the Zen master. How's it going tonight, buddy?
It's going good, Scott. I prefer to be known as Deal Friend. We're going to scratch the whole Zen Master. We're going to go with Deal Friend from now on. I just think it fits me better after that disheartening episode we had a few weeks ago. But anyway.
Yeah, we got Deal Friend and then John Burnett, the real friend.
Yeah. You know it.
And I'm the real deal friend. So take that, Mike.
Trying to have the best of both worlds there, I see.
All right. Well, people are rolling in here. And we'd love to hear from you folks tonight, especially if you're maybe new to the land investing space. Jeff Storley's not, though. He's watching. What's up, buddy? Cheers to you.
Jeff has got an amazing Instagram thread. Have you seen it? He is so consistent advertising his land. Yeah. He crushes it.
Oh, no. Well, Jeff, throw in the chat there how Instagram's going for you in the land business. Mason Boswell's here. Nice to see you. Anybody else chime in and say hello? Introduce yourselves. And, well, I guess we should probably get to the topic at hand, right?
All right.
So let's see. I'm going to pick on Mike first. Mike, there's lots of stuff out there to do right now. People are always thinking, real estate's maybe the golden ticket. Maybe other things are the golden ticket, the stock market, Bitcoin, whatever. But what makes land maybe simpler and a little more accessible than some of those other things?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is I think of all these other potential opportunities and the initial capital I'd have to have, right? So if you really want to give this a whirl, you can buy your first property like I did. The first year I bought property for $500-$600 a piece. So contrast that to buying your first single family or short-term rental, or things like that. How much multifamily, how much initial capital you're going to need? Well, you can try this business out for $500, $1,000 and get proof of concept there.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. Low barrier of entry, right? That's what we talk about a lot about when it comes to capital with land. So what about you, John Burnett? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think on the capital side, I think the other thing is just I think the strength of the model really lies in the fact that it's a repeatable process. It's a repeatable product, right? So you're doing the same thing over and over again. And then there's a reduced set of variables, right? So with our properties and the types of properties that we're acquiring, there's a lot of consistency between each property, which makes every aspect of the business a lot simpler. So when it comes to finding good opportunities, whether it's wholesaling homes or finding solid, entitlement opportunities and stuff like that, like there's lots of opportunity there, but it's really hard to identify it, and it takes a lot of your time, right? And so what I like about this business, and one of the things that really appealed to me, one thing is, one of the big things was the fact that we could do it remotely, right? But the other piece is that it's simple, right? Like you can do it and actually scale it.
So the data is the data is a little easier to acquire, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think that there are some areas that we work in where, it's easy to find the data. It's easy to find the pricing. The market's massive, so it's just a matter of taking action, really. So Mike, what are some other reasons land investing might speak to people as opposed to some other real estate models?
Mike? You're on mute, Mike.
Sorry about that. I say the cash flow in proportion to the investment, right? So here's the reality, a multifamily or some sort of rental property, typically maybe $100 to $400 a month, positive cash flow after vacancy rates, expenses, and so on and so forth. And how much are you paying for that, right? Anywhere in this country, it's a significant amount of money. If I bought a $5,000 property, I could have $500 a month recurring income coming in. So I think the size of the purchase price of the acquisition cost for that asset compared to the cash flow, I think is just crazy.
All right, awesome. I love it. We're buying these properties at a deep discount, right? We're buying these. We make our money on the buy and turn around and make these assets perform and make them cash flow or make a crazy return on cash deal. We're missing a big one though. What, John Burnett, you know where I'm going with this. Like comparing to other real estate models, why land?
Yeah. I mean, I think why I like land over other models, I think it would come down to I think that there's a safety net built into what we do. So there's an effective exit plan, right? So if we're buying at a steep enough discount, right, then you've got a lot of margin. And it's something that you can do with your own capital, right? Where you can effectively acquire property and build out cash flow at a very low cost. And then, for me, a lot of it just comes down to scalability, right? Like I've done some big real estate deals. I like them, right? But it took a lot of me, right? There was a very high sophistication level, both in like finding and pricing the deals, to negotiating with the owner, to doing due diligence. Like everything was very complex. And so it's great. I like it. But when it comes to like building that into something that functions without my time, right? It's a hard thing to do. And that's really what it comes down to. And with the model is time freedom, right? Like that's the ultimate, I think the ultimate thing that each of us individually wanted, right? When we started this, it was freedom to do what we want when we wanted, right? And to focus our time on what really matters. So
yeah, we don't have to go to these properties. We can buy and sell land on our computers, right? Mike's taking notes. We can't see his notes because they're disappearing.
Is that a picture of me, Mike?
No, we're going to go right to the Kindle, not the Kindle, the Remarkable for the. Here we go. Let me just remove.
Is that the 3 T's, Mike?
Oh,
there it is.
Blur gone? Is my blur gone?
Nah, not really.
It went away for a second.
What?
Oh,
it's a little blurry, but I think
this is. I'm sorry, folks. Technical difficulty.
I'm sorry, folks. Yeah,
there it is.
There we go.
There we go.
So really,
our first visual aid of the evening.
Yes. So we have no tenants.
Love it.
No termites. And for all those artists out there, no toilets.
Dude, that's a good toilet. Yeah,
that is a good toilet.
That was pretty good.
I don't know about the termite though. The termite has 7 legs.
It's a tail.
Oh, it's a tail. Okay. All right.
He's eating a piece of bread.
That's it. It's the no T's, right? There's no headaches in land investing. There's no emergencies in land investing. That's why we're here. That's why we're still doing this. That's why I still have my hair, even though it's gray. It's not gray because of land investing. It's gray because of children. John, you wait.
Yeah. No, I'm just diet. It's fine.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing, right? If you're new to if you're just hearing about land investing for the first time, we aren't dealing with all that stuff. We're dealing with people calling us up and, with 2 a.m. problems. We're not dealing with court dates. We're not dealing with $1,000 problems, right? Every once in a while, Zeno, how often do you have a land deal that's kind of a headache? Come on, man. Less than 1% of the time. Thank you. Thank you for.
No, not very often. It's not very often because these people are not residing on the property. They're not going to build on it. We hold the deed until they pay us in full, so they're not going to be able to get permits. Plus, no bank is to give them a loan to build on something they don't own the underlying asset. So, just removes a lot of the risk.
Yeah. And there's 3 R's as well. You got the 3 T's, you got the 3 R's, no renters, same as tenants. Okay. No rehab, no rodents, right?
I think you just stole my T's there is what you did and gave it an R.
No, I'm giving Jim Lockton credit on that one, man.
Oh,
he likes the R's. Jim. You like the T's, he likes the R's.
Sorry, Jim, you're right.
Personal preference.
We should let's make our way all the way through the alphabet. This is gonna be great.
I mean, that could be a fun episode.
That could be a good name game.
Especially after Mike's full bottle of wine. Could be fun.
Could be fun.
So anyway, Mark, I hope you're watching. Actually, I think Mark's at a Broadway show, so
really,
you should be watching that.
You probably shouldn't be watching. Yeah.
Exactly.
I get in trouble
for the glare here. Jeez, I got to get the light. Scott, you got the ultimate studio lighting going there. John, you're looking pretty good there, but I got like this glare no matter where I look in my office.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit fancier than we used to be on Nite Cap, so we need a little upgrade here, man.
I'm gonna get some lighting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about what else. So let's say you find this. Let's say after listening to this one podcast, you're like, land is for me because I don't need a lot of money. I don't need a lot of time. There's no headaches. Mike Zano, and you don't need to know much. I didn't have any real estate background. Mike, you did maybe a little bit, right? John?
No, actually,
you didn't.
Nothing.
Okay. John, any background?
I worked in a real estate brokerage for like 6 months before I started this, but I had not done any real estate investment and never bought a piece of real estate. Okay. So my first piece of real estate I bought for $500 and it was 5 acres. So no, $600. Right. So.
Okay, so this is day 0. We just heard about it. Let's create the 90-day action plan here to doing our first deal. So Mike Zano, first step. What are you going to do?
Where are you going to do this? Like over 3,000 counties. Where are you going to go?
Tell me more. How are you going to figure that out?
Well, I'm probably going to not look in Massachusetts where I live. It's just not really. We're looking for areas that, a few within a striking distance of a major city, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours out. So that's 1. 2, you're going to have a lot of opportunities. So we want these subdivisions would have hundreds and thousands of properties, low annual taxes, and we want some use.
Okay. Anything else? John, I'll go to you. What else? What else are we looking for?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the other thing I'd be looking for is like repeatability, right? Like, so when I look at an area, if I let's say I found a rural subdivision and I do a lot in rural subdivisions. When people hear subdivision, a lot of times they think of like a tenth of an acre just right outside the city or something like that. But a rural subdivision could be large large amounts of 5-acre plots that have just been split up, right? And so I look for repeatability. And so generally I invest a lot in rural subdivides, rural subdivisions where there's a lot of repeatability from property to property. And there's a lot of properties, right? Because you want an area that you can build a business around, where you can continuously market, right? You find an area and there's 25 properties there, right? You send your mailers and then that's kind of it, right? You might do a deal there every, few years, maybe, right? But you need something that you can market to consistently and build a business around. So you need repeatability, right? That gives you a reduced set of variables so that you can start delegating and automating various parts of your processes. And then you want enough properties so that you can hit that area consistently.
All right. Day one, we're going to find an area. So there's hundreds of areas out there, guys, that are like John is describing. There are subdivisions, and they're very cookie cutter, and they're platted out, and there's like 5,000 1-acre parcels or 5,000 5-acre parcels, and they're in many, many, many states. Some ways you can find these areas are go to land selling websites. Now, John, you're not talking desert squares, are you?
I mean, I sold on the desert squares.
Why are the desert squares getting so much hate lately? Have you guys seen this? Everybody's downplaying the desert squares, which let's talk to everybody about this, because I think this is another thing. If land investing is very much a numbers deal, right? It's a numbers game. You want to go where other land investors are working because it shows you that people are working in that area. It's a fishing hole. So if I see John Burnett is selling land in the middle of in the middle of Arizona somewhere, and it's a nice platted out subdivision, and maybe there's a little bit of activity here and there, and you can get to the property, it's probably a good area to work in. And a lot of people kind of poo-poo the desert squares. But listen, if I know John and I know Mike, you agree, if you guys can find a property at 25, 30 cents on the dollar and it has decent access, there's not much we don't buy. As long as we can see some data that land is being bought and sold there. Would you agree, Mike Zano?
I would definitely agree. I think this model is as old as dirt, pun intended. It's probably the first real estate model that has been out there, and it's here now and it's going to be here forever. So the opportunity is never going away. I think sometimes, Scott, people just lose focus easily. And, that's the, shiny object syndrome. But they hit a roadblock. And if you have that tendency towards shiny object syndrome, you might just bounce into something else, but you never go deep into whatever it is you're trying to do. So you hit a roadblock here, you push through it. This is an incredible opportunity if you stick to it.
All right, awesome. Stick to it. I know what you were kind of prompting me to say there.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yes, I'll put it in the chat.
Gravel word.
It's our favorite word. You have to have it in order to do the land business. All right, cool. So we're going to choose an area, right? We also have to choose an area that's within our budget. So if you have $5,000 to start, you want to buy a couple properties. So you need to find an area where you can buy land for a few hundred, a few $1,000s. If you have a little bit more money to start, great. Mike, what's so funny?
I was just looking at Jeff Stoy's comment. Mike, no one's judging you being in your garage.
You're very distracting tonight. You're very distracting. You're taking notes. You're
looking at the comments here. I didn't realize we had access here.
I'm trying to stay on topic because I'm feeling a little pressure that Mark's not here, and we're supposed to talk about the 90-day action plan to getting a deal done.
We're doing it. Look at how much we've already uncovered. What happened with that?
All right. We're going to find an area, right? And you know what? You may not choose the area right the first time. That's okay. But Mike, if we find an area, other land investors are working there, what's the next step? What are we going to do?
We need data.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
We need to know who we're going to contact, who are the people that own land in the area we want to buy, how do we contact them, and then what do we tell them when we contact them, and how much money do we offer them? So, you have to get the data so you can reach out to the owners.
So there's a few types of data, right? Like we got to know what to offer. We got to know how to
Yes.
get. We got to know how to get the owner information, right?
100%. Like you need to understand that market. I've seen people try to create software in the past, Scott, that's going to like do that market price for them, and wasn't impressed. I think this is something that you have to do yourself, and you have to come to a deep understanding of it. But you need to find where you're going to invest, how to collect the data, and then how to price that data, right? And how to put the price, the offer numbers on that.
What do you? How are you going to price it, Mike?
I don't know. I'm just listening to. Are you doing Braille? Are you doing like
It's not me.
SOS?
It's me. I'm playing with my pencil. I didn't realize I was coming through on the
What's
mic.
going SOS over here from John? Do we need to call in someone to help John? SOS.
I don't like these assigned topics.
So, I answered the question before I got distracted by the Morse code. I don't even know.
How are you going to price the? How are you going to price it, Mike? How are you going to know what to price
Well,
when you send it?
Here's
Anyway,
the beautiful
go ahead.
thing. First of all, one price equals all prices. We're looking at a very unique subdivision, where all the properties have similar size, use, shape, all of that, right? So once you come up with the price, you're golden. It's not like mailing a large geographic area, trying to figure out and identify. What people do in that instance, they send out neutral letters, which, really what happens is, just so people know, a neutral letter, hey, I'm interested in your land. Why don't you call me? We'll talk about it. A blind offer is, hey, I want to give you $500 for your land. If you want it, reach out to me. So when you do the neutral letter, which you have to do when we're not following our model, you just increase your intake. You increase the number of people who are looking for a free deal valuation. Oh yeah, Scott, how much is my property worth? I'd love to know. And so, is that helping dial in?
It is, yes. We got it. We have to try to determine the market value, right, in order to
Yes.
send mailers out, and then
Yeah, we're going to send a real offer number, right? So that
Yeah.
means, how would you collect that for 1,000 mailers unless you could price them all very quickly and they're the same price, same area,
Right.
same location, and you just have to compare it to the market value. You have to do your market analysis. You have to. I always say you're an investigative reporter. There's land that's being bought and sold out there. Like, how do you find it? How do you sell it yourself? Right. So you need to really dig into that data.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
data.
I think what people should know is that we acquire most of our properties through direct mailing. But for beginners, there are actually multiple ways, right? Let's talk about direct mailing a little bit first, because what you do is you do want to get you want to get a list of property owners, and you want to try to mail a small subset of property owners a true dollar offer amount on their land. But Daniel actually has a really good question, because he's new to this. I think he's new to this. And he actually has a great question. How do you deal with counties that provide massive amounts of records? So for instance, he had a county, get this, Mike, he had a county provide a set of 7.6 million rows of data, and he couldn't even open it. This sounds like 2015 to me.
Yeah, we have to Frankenstein a list. Like, we call the county, finally, after talking to, typically it was 4 people, the rule of 3 or 4 people, right? Finally, you found that one person who's sitting there with all the data, and then they send you a list. You open it up, and it looks like it's in a foreign language. You're like, what am I looking at? Like, or it might be 7.6 million rows, and it's like, so we had to do what we call Frankenstein a list. A lot of times we take that information, try to decipher it, and then maybe collect information from other parts of the county website and put it together. But here's the thing: you can go right into LG Pass and use Zamplo. You don't need to go and call the county and try to figure out their secret code for talking about land and become an expert in that. You can just go into our software, use Zamplo, collect your data, get your data price, and then mail it.
Beautiful. It's no longer 2015. It doesn't take you 3 hours to get a list of 100 property owners and price and print and lick and stuff your envelopes, right? In a matter of minutes, you can build your list with these services. So it's 2025, folks. Use a service like Zamplo to get a list of a few hundred owners. We're going to have the guys, we're going to have the Zamplo guys on actually soon. And we're going to talk to them. I don't know.
Oh,
Coming soon. But we're going to have the Zamplo guys on, and we're going to have them, we're going to have a Nite Cap with the Zamplo guys. And we're going to talk about how much easier it is to get land data now compared to what it was 10 years ago. And it's pretty exciting because what used to take us hours and hours now takes us minutes. So, who was that? Daniel. Look into services that provide you with the ability to get a list of owners. And in all honesty, it's just easier to go through them than it is through the county. And you'll be able to find a list of those property owners within that particular subdivision that you're looking at.
throw away the flip phone. Throw it away.
Throw it. All right. Well, okay. So we're like day 4 or 5 here, right? We've done some county research. We priced an area. We're maybe thinking about mailing and how we're going to do that. But there are some other ways to buy property.
Ooh.
So maybe we should talk about that. Other quicker ways. Like if you're on day 0 and you spend a few days kind of immersing yourself in this and learning a little bit about land investing, you could buy a property really quick. So John Burnett, tell us how someone might buy a property really quick without going through a mailing.
Yeah. So you can buy a property really quick by purchasing either through wholesale or through what we call land arbitrage. So wholesale effectively is when one land investor sells to another land investor at 50 cents on the dollar, right? So you take the retail price and generally whatever the cash price is, you cut that in half, and that's what the wholesale price would be. So you can pick up a property. It's going to be more than you would pay if you were to just mail yourself and acquire the property yourself, but you get it immediately, right? And you can add that to your inventory and start marketing right away. So the other option is what we call land arbitrage. Land arbitrage is kind of the same thing. So you're buying from another investor, right? And they are selling that to you at a wholesale price, but with owner financing. So with land arbitrage, generally the rule of thumb is that they're selling it to you at half of what you would sell it on terms, right? So if you were to sell it with owner financing. So what that means with land arbitrage, I've done this dozens of times in my own business. And basically with land arbitrage, you can pick up a property for, sometimes $50 a month, $100 a month, $150 a month. And then you turn that around and you sell it for twice that amount on a monthly basis, right? Now, if you hold that property for a month, right, and you net everything out, the returns are stupid, right? Like they're very, very high. And so it's a great way, just in terms of exploring the model, like the great thing about land arbitrage is that everything is attached to that property, right? You buy that property at $100 a month, and then a month in, you say, you know what? No, I don't think so. You just give it back to the investor, right? And that's it. But I've used that to explore new markets and see how it works for me. Or if I was in a position kind of early on in my business where I need to acquire property but didn't have the funds immediately available, then I would start buying some land arbitrage properties. And then I would use that to beef up my inventory so I had stuff to sell. But it's a great way you can pick up property. I mean, I've woken up one morning and said, I need property, and then had it by the end of the day, sometimes with photography and everything I needed to market that property, right? And so you can acquire very quickly.
Love it. Anything to add, Mike Zano, on buying wholesale or land arb?
Well, that was a pretty good mic drop right there.
It was good. It brings to mind, actually, I had a call with Kelly Sink yesterday, and Kelly, about a month ago, she's got about $5,000 to start, and she ended up getting our Dirt Rich Starter Kit, which is a nice little DIY kind of information program for doing land. But, after talking to her on the phone, I just said, hey, maybe consider buying a few properties Landarb. So fast forward 30 days. So she's right on the 90-day track here. Like we should have had her on, honestly. 30 days in, Mike and John, she's purchased 5 Landarb properties, and she's already sold one. So she's already at a sale. Now, here's the thing. She's controlling 5 properties for around $500 a month. So it's pretty hard to buy 5 properties or control 5 properties for $500, right? Unless you're doing something like Landarb. So now if she can just sell all the other ones real quick, her return is going to be really great on those properties. And the cool thing is she's like, yeah, Scott, it's really great because she bought these properties from another land investor. And like you said, John, they had all the marketing material ready to go. So all she had to do then was market the property, which is really almost our next step here. I mean, we got to buy it, right? I don't know if we can get into all the steps of buying the land, but we do self-close. We don't go through title, and that's quick. So you might have to tap into the community to figure out how to do that. But we self-close on these properties if we get them through mail, or if we buy them wholesale, or if we do the Landarb deals, we self-close. So those deals can happen real quick. So if you're looking to do this quick, there might be a little trial by fire with all this stuff, but tap into the community. They'll help you learn how to do it. Mike, you're really distracting me with all of your note taking over there. It's like either that or I can't tell if you're like disinterested or like.
No, I was just thinking about it. Look at Landarb. You do
Here we go.
$500 a month is basically what she's going to create positive cash flow. And if she did 10 times, that's 5,000 a month. She does that 10 times, that's 50,000 a month. You can create a lot of money with land arbitrage.
I'm thinking right now of your favorite saying, and that there's 3 types of mathematicians: those that can add and those that can't.
Yeah, so this was just a little off, but you get the idea. It's exponential. That is
man,
math joke, though, Scott. I will give you that.
What's that?
That is my favorite math joke but I think we should probably sneak in a segment or two tonight. You know, Mark's not here. We can go a little bit old school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a segment or two. I'd have to find my cards. I don't know if I know where my cards are. I'll have to check. All right, we'll think about a segment or two.
Also, I've just recently, you can't tell, recharged my Remarkable, and it's just pretty awesome. I feel like just taking notes.
Do you have an affiliate link you'd like to throw up on the screen there?
No, remember Etch-a-Sketch?
I remember. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like the adult version.
Is that where you took your notes before?
Shake it and make more notes.
Do you shake the Remarkable and they go away?
No, I'm just.
Oh, I was going to say.
That's what happened to his last Remarkable. So.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right. Let's see. Mason Boswell has a good question. So again, somebody who's just new to this, Mike, time for you to engage here. Lift your head up. Look forward. Quit taking notes.
Ooh, look at this. How do you find the email phone of the landowners? Is that the question?
Yeah, it's a question. Help Mason out here.
I don't. They give it to me.
Okay.
So
So
mail them to their actual physical address. They'll reach back out with their preferred mode of contact, and many times it is email and phone. So we're not skip tracing out of the gate, meaning we're not, I think we might have covered this last week, we're not trying to find all their phone number and email and social media. We're just mailing them to their physical address, and they will reach out, and most of the time we'll end up with both of those, the phone number and the email.
does direct mail still work though, Mike? In these days, this
2025 direct mail still works. I know there's all these people that are going to create this, that, and the other thing, but sometimes it's just the basics that work, Scott. Simply just applying yourself to the basics consistently with the basics, and you get it done. You don't have to go fancy. You don't have to be sending text messages to them. You just need to get in contact with them. Simple mail works.
Simple mail. You know what? I've gotten letters in the mail from people, handwritten, like legal paper, handwritten, not even on the line, like written diagonally on the legal paper. I'm offering you $2,000 for your property. Call me. It could be that simple if you want.
Yeah, no, it could be.
Yeah.
Was it handwritten?
For me.
One of those printed companies that makes.
No, it was handwritten and it was recent. Like that's a guy going after it. I love it.
Yeah.
For sure. So, all right. Okay, so let's just say we bought a property. We're on day like We could buy a property in 1 week. Kelly Sink has bought 5 properties in 30 days. Like, we don't even need 90 days to complete a deal. Mike, you're all nervous about, are you sure we can do this in 90 days? Yes, we can do it in 90 days.
Yes.
I keep picking on you tonight, don't I?
No, but years ago, maybe not 90 days, but the business has evolved and these new opportunities have arisen. And you can get going so quick. I mean, the first thing I said was low barrier, cost of entry into this business, $500. But now you're talking $50. Are you kidding me? People spend that on coffee each month. They can start a business with $50 a month.
Yeah, that's true. It's crazy stuff. With land, can't do that with those other models we talked about.
And look, if you buy it for $50 land arbitrage, sell it for $100. Now you have free coffee every month because there's your $50.
There you go.
Solves your problem. If you got nothing else, you have free coffee.
I think I drink more coffee than you, Mike.
John's at the coffee shop. John, you got to be like on the coffee club at that place, though.
I do. Yeah.
I
got a T-shirt. They give me the key code. It's great.
Let me ask you, John. So I recently started going back to the coffee shop. I get a decaf latte with oat milk. But, Laura's telling me that if I don't say anything, the default is iced. I think the default should be hot. What's your experience?
Me too.
I mean, I agree. If I say I want an Americano and that Americano comes out iced, then
is this the summer? I've done this twice to me already at different locations, like a decaf, latte, oat milk, and then here comes this iced drink, and I'm like, is it me?
Maybe it depends on where you are. Like, I mean, if I'm in like Scottsdale, Arizona, it's 120 degrees outside, and I order an Americano, like, I understand. Like, if it's not ice, then I probably have a problem.
Right. Okay. Interesting. But I am back in the barista area getting my drink. Decaf.
The barista area. Man, is that the name of the coffee shop?
The barista. The nutty barista.
Huh? The nutty barista.
I like it. Yeah.
That's great.
I'll write that down.
Oh, man. John Cohen has commented. He just finished the book. John, nice to see you on here. Spoke with you recently. Just finished the book and the 7-day course. So he's actively researching for counties. So 7 days in, he's looking for counties. He can do this by 90 days. John, you can have a sale by 90 days. I challenge you to have a sale by 30 days. You can do it.
I'm going to name that tune. I'll do it at 28.
Yeah.
From that show?
Just like that.
Do you remember the show?
That, I remember the show. Well, I probably watched the reruns, though, because I'm not.
John's like, what show?
Yeah.
I know. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Name that tune? The old talk show or the game show?
This, John. Do you know what a light bright is?
I do know what a light bright is. My kids have light brights.
Okay.
So
they still
make pieces are literally all over our house. Yeah.
Oh, really? So they took a resurgence. That was like the 70s, Scott, wasn't it? Light bright.
Yeah, it's the 70s for sure, or even earlier maybe. But yeah. All right, cool. So, well, what else do we talk about here? So, you know what? I think it just, I think we've established you don't need a ton of capital to start. You just need to take action by doing some of these things, engage in our community. Once you get the property, you have to, market. And there are free ways to market, right? You don't need a lot of money to market. You can market on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. There are some land selling websites out there if you want to invest a little money to market your land on those land selling websites. But I mean, truth be told, people telling us that we need to be talking about a 90-day time frame here. I think we can do it in 30.
Ooh.
By the end of the episode, it's going to be 1 week, Scott. It's going to be like, you got 30 minutes. Buy a property, sell it.
All right. So let's talk mindset a little bit just for a few minutes, because you're going into something new, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, and you're spending your money to do this. So Mike, you're the Zen master. Talk to us about
mindset. Yeah, number one, go tell all your friends and see what they think, and that'll help you.
Oh,
No.
not at all.
No, because listen, you go tell your friends, I'm going to go invest in this land. Yeah, I'm never going to visit it. I want to buy it. And they're going to just like, you can't do that. So the reality is in the beginning, it's difficult. You want to share what you're doing with other people, but this is a very it's not that well known what we do. And so many people are going to look at it and go, that's impossible. And you don't want that in your mind, right? You want to surround yourself by people that are actually doing it. So, if maybe you have a partner that's going to do it with you, or maybe you engage in our community, but just be careful because that's real. That gets in your head, right? And that could detract you from something that could be very productive.
I love it. John Burnett, any mindset tips for the folks watching?
Yeah, I think that what Mike said is really true. Like I told people about what I was doing early on, and then once you get a little ways in, those are great conversations to have.
Right.
And when you got a proven track record that you can share with them, right? But I think the other thing is just I think determination, and what was it? It was stick with itness.
I got it.
But
I got it right here.
Yeah, trademark. Yeah. But I think it's important, like as we jump into this, just stick to itiveness. Wow, I like that.
I'm not sure if it's real.
Yeah. Try it in Scrabble, see what happens. Yeah.
It's a true word.
But I think that like generally when we jump into this, I mean, we're not dependent on it for our daily income, right? Like it's not something like you don't work on this on a given day, right? Nothing bad happens, right?
Right.
And so it's just like anything good that you pursue aspirationally, you have to stick to it, right? Just like going to the gym, right? If you go to the gym every day, you stop for 2 weeks, like it's hard to get back there, right? So I think it's really important as we pursue this that we resolve at the outset to continue with it. And I think that's the other thing is just you got to have a big why, right? You got to have a reason that you're doing this that makes it worth sticking to it, right? If you don't have a solid reason to make this happen, it's going to be hard to be consistent. So you need to find that and then keep on keeping on.
Ooh, nice.
Mike, you ready for this?
Keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Yeah, I'm ready. What do you got?
Hold on one sec.
Okay, I'm holding. Still holding.
All right, here we go.
Persistence,
Ooh.
determination, stick-to-itiveness is an informal word that means persistence and determination. It regularly appears in 3 forms. The unhyphenated form, stick-to-itiveness. Wow, does the hyphen Scrabble? I'm not a Scrabble guy. Is there hyphens in there?
There's no hyphens. Yeah.
No, but there is. Sorry, I didn't put it all in there. There's a hyphenated form and an unhyphenated form.
Okay.
So, but this word came out in the 19th century, so it's been around a while.
That has been around. You definitely use that Scrabble.
Yeah. No, John, you're right. I mean, you're talking about the why, right? We all have to have a reason to do this to keep us going. Not all of us. Some of us like to do it because it's something new. We need something to do. We're bored. Maybe we're financially fine. Maybe we have a few extra hours a day where we need to keep our mind busy. I'd say that's the minority of us, right? Most of us get into this because we need some side income, or we're in some type of pain, right? We're in the rat race. We're in debt. We have 6 kids that we need to send to private school someday. And how are we going to pay for that? Right? Or even 4 kids that have to go to college. How are we going to pay for that? So yeah, this, I think if you have or you just want more time with your loved ones, right? You want to be able to quit your job to spend more time with your lovely wives, which I know both of you guys, your relationships and my relationship with my wife is a lot stronger because we're able to spend more time with them because we're not working a W-2 job. Well, Mike is, but
That's another story.
it's another
I'm gonna
story.
Why now, Scott? You know, you said start with the Y. I'm going to start. I think we need to start with the Z. We need to
Ooh,
start with the
we are
Zen.
working through the alphabet.
We're going to start. You said start with the Y. You know, why start with the Zen? Like internally,
Ooh.
be calm. What do you need to be peaceful? What is it you're searching for? What's your inner clarity? What's your inner purpose? Right. So start with the Z. Start with the Zen.
Wow, that is awesome, man.
Let's see.
Start with the Z.com. I'm gonna buy that right now.
Oh, dang it.
Huh?
You can be my partner on that. Yes.
No, that's awesome. Good for you. John, are you frozen or are you just perpetually smiling?
He's just in shock of what I said. Look at him.
How handsome he is.
Look at that
Oh my
smiley
gosh.
face.
There, that's
Here I
better.
am.
You were just frozen in the most amazing.
Did you hear start with the Z, Scott? I mean, John, or did you miss that?
I did hear start with a Z, and then
Your
yeah,
Zen, your
and then I
inner
was out.
clarity, your inner clarity, your purpose for doing this. That comes before you. You know, that's so forget start with the Y, start with the Z.
Listen to Mike Zano.
I
Listen
like
to
it.
this guy. That's the mic drop right there. That's the mic drop of all mic drops. I mean, that's probably like the best mic drop in the recent quarter.
I'm going to buy that website because I know you didn't do it yet.
No, I didn't do it. All right. Any comments or questions? Let's see. Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh, I just went to the Mark Podolsky clone and had it put together an ABC book for land investing. So,
Ooh.
yeah, there's some good ones here. R is for ROI. T is for term sales. U is for upside. V for virtual assistants, of course. Z is for Zen. I got it.
There
Nice.
you go.
Yeah.
What's X?
X is for X marks the spot.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Couple questions. Angie Hoopengarner. Nice to see you here. Can you replay this? Yes, you can. We live in the rerun. After the show, just go to youtube.com/thelandgeek and click on live videos, and you can rewatch, or you can also rewatch in the Facebook group, I think. Couple more questions here. This from Mason again. There's a ton of factors in this business. How can we simplify it all? That's totally true, Mason. So the business altogether, the business itself is not altogether that complicated, but there are a ton of moving parts in the business, right? And we're talking elementary stuff tonight. We're talking the basics, but when you grow this into a business, there's even more moving parts, because what you want to do is you want to create a machine, and there's lots of parts to that machine that you want to be, that you want to perfect, right? Because this is like the 4-hour work week business, right? Like you can get to the point where you're doing this 4 or 5 hours a week, making more than your W-2 to free your time. So how can you simplify it? I think there's just a lot of learning that needs to be done. What I love about Land Geek is we've got podcasts going back 10 years. So learn for an hour a day. Spend time in the Facebook group or in our free online community on Mighty Networks. Tap into people who've done it before. Mike,
What do we got here?
Ride the bike and don't get off.
No, I think the first thing to do to really start
Like
this
ride the
business, simplify it, is to understand why it works. Because you can understand all of the certain all the moving parts, right? But why does it exist? And so think of a bike. Yes, Jeff Stolley, it is a garage office. On the other side, there's bikes there. Some of them, maybe it was a $300 bike, but I don't use it anymore, John, right? And I don't have any emotional attachment to it. If someone came down and said, I'll give you $50, $75, $100, I'd probably give them the bike, right? Just like anything else on Facebook. So there are people, if you can understand that land is no different than this bike. It's just something that people own. They don't use anymore. They're detached emotionally from it. And you can buy it at a discount because they've written it off a while ago. If you can understand that, think of this like that, then that is the most simplifying thing you can do in the beginning. Because if you don't believe in the model, you're going to have a hard time really executing, right? But this works just like anything else. There's an asset out there that people have. They just don't want it anymore. We can buy it and we can resell it at an easy payment plan where we can make money.
Man, I love it. I love it. You got to bring the remarkable more often, man.
I'm loving my remarkable.
So, I do have to say, when we're talking, your remarkable is getting all of the attention, which I don't think is really fair to us. So
he's just drawing pictures of bikes.
Give me 1 second.
Right, exactly.
Let me talk to the remarkable. Right back.
Oh, now you're talking to it. All right. Let's see what other questions we have here. White Roads. Is AI like ChatGPT and Gemini commonly used in land buying, selling processes, or is it mostly paid software that's used? John Burnett, take it away, man. What do you think?
I mean, I'm a big fan of AI like ChatGPT. ChatGPT and I have long conversations on a daily basis. So I think it's a really helpful tool. Like, I mean, we use other tools too, right? Outside of AI and stuff like that. But I mean, the way I see it is that prior to AI, right? I keep on saying it's a repeatable process, right? And because it's a repeatable process, you can delegate and automate, right? Now, when it comes to repeatable processes, whether you delegate or whether you automate, generally, if there's any level of variability in that process, you had to delegate, right? If the variables are completely consistent, then you can automate. With AI, now that line is a little bit blurred, right? Because you can automate through these tools that have some critical thought capability, right? And so you can do some stuff like if you want to gin up some ad copy, you got to be a little bit careful about that, but you can get ad copy very quickly. I use it just for like talking through even just strategic vision for my company. I'll pull out my phone, I'll go on a walk, and I'll talk to ChatGPT and say, this is where I'm envisioning things going. And I'll just kind of verbally process. And then I'll say, can you bullet point that out and put it into a business proposal for me, right? For my own business, right? And so stuff like that, where you can start really channeling it for strategic vision and growth, and then also just use it for basic processes in your business. So I'm a big fan.
John, what's your ChatGPT friend's name? Who do you talk to? You gave it a name, right?
I did. So I've got a Robot Jocko is what I refer to it as. So it's it acts just like Jocko Willink, and then I'll be like, this is what I need to get done today, and it's like, all right, you have no excuses. You have to get everything done. One time I talked to it and I was like, can I have some motivation, please? And it was like, no. Just do it.
Oh my God.
That is awesome. Oh man. That's great. Awesome. Great answer, by the way. It's a great tool that I wish we'd had it when we were starting, right? It's definitely revolutionizing things in the land business. Billy Swinton, did you advise texting in addition to the mailer, text before email after? So I think we advised just mail initially because mailing still works. There are some texting capabilities. It's more expensive. I don't think we have capabilities within our software yet, though that may be coming down the road. And then there are some more things you need to be cognizant of with texting as far as like when you text people and if you're doing spam campaigns and that type of thing, you got to be careful of. So direct mail is safe, right? It's safe and legal and we don't have any problems with it. So we just recommend people start there, and then down the road, maybe you figure that out. Let's see what else. How difficult, John from John Cohen, how difficult is the deed process to learn without making mistakes in the beginning? Is it simple to learn if I'm careful, or do I need help in the beginning on the first couple? Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, you can go out there on different sites and buy deeds and whatnot, but I think what's really helpful these days is get something like LG Pass, where they've already had everything vetted. The correct deed for the correct state is created. you don't have to do anything but put in the owner's names and the legal description, the APN. So it's actually not very difficult at all, I guess, if I answer it that way. You just get the correct software and it's done for you.
Right. Yeah, there are all sorts of services out there that can help you with deed creation as well, right? So yeah, it's actually not too difficult. I think the stuff leading up to the deed is the more difficult stuff, right? Is like doing your due diligence. We didn't even talk about due diligence. Oh, slap on the hand, right? But you got to do your due diligence. You got to make sure that that it's a good property. Are there back taxes? Are there any liens? Are there any breaks in the chain of title? That type of thing. So again, some more moving parts in this business that you need to get to know. But the nice thing is there's a lot of material out there to learn that. Ricky Tharp, look at this, guys. Watching these live streams helped him send out his first letters. Got the drip mailing set up this past Friday. Cheers to you, Ricky.
That's awesome. Cheers.
Send out the first mailer.
Awesome.
That is awesome. All right. And Mason, you're welcome. He's thanking us for doing this. Which specific paid platforms would you recommend for beginners? Mason, are you talking like for land selling, or other paid softwares? I guess for land selling, the nice thing is there are some land selling platforms that do have a lower tier subscription to them. So Land Search, Land Flip, Land Modo, Land Sentry, I think you pay per lead. And then there's really expensive ones like land.com. But free's the best, right? And then he says that softwares to assist with the process of land selling. I mean, we have two great softwares that assist with land selling. One would be LG Pass, and one would be GeekPay. I think those are really great, and they're not too expensive, which is nice. Or you can hoof it and create your own system. Mike, how you doing over there, buddy?
Doing great.
Yeah.
This hour flew by.
It did fly by. It was a fun hour. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous without Mark being here, but
No, you nailed it.
You nailed it.
We didn't even do a segment.
I have a segment. You ready?
We got a segment?
Oh, we got a segment. All right.
It's the only one I could come up with at short notice. And
you gotta start throwing cards every week.
I don't know where my cards are.
I could bring a kid of the week. That could be my segment.
Great.
But we haven't done this segment in a really long time, and it's one of our favorites. So tonight we are going to do.
Oh, I know what it is. I already did
Boston Legacy segment.
Oh, I was going to say you fulfilled me. I was going to complete it.
You complete me. You complete me. You mean?
You complete me. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get the "You Complete Me" cards back out as well. All right, I'm gonna find my cards. They're around here somewhere.
These are the best.
So anyway, the Boston. So Mike and I started Nite Cap a long time ago, back in like 2018. We did Nite Cap for a long time. I think John Burnett was like our first guest, or one of our first guests that we had on.
Crazy. Full circle
talking land investing. So and Mark wasn't on initially. I think it was too late or something. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. He wasn't on initially, so it was basically a bunch of hijinks here. And we had some segments, and one favorite segment we had was called the Boston Legacy segment. So the Boston Legacy segment is where Scott spells a word correctly, and Mike pronounces the word horribly wrong in his Bostonian accent. So this is how we do this.
Right
you ready?
way. Saying.
What's that?
I say it the right way.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So here's the word of the night. You ready?
Yeah.
Really easy one for you tonight, Mike. Make sure you write it down in case you can't process what I'm saying to you. DOCTOR.
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 Who doesn't know what a doctor is, Scott? Come on.
Doctor.
Why don't we give it a hard one? Let's give him a hard one. Come on.
Oh, you want to give him a hard one? Well, I mean,
what?
I knew you were going to say doctor.
Doctor. What do you call him?
Doctor.
I gotta hear it. What do you say?
It's just the doctor, man. It's a doctor. It's
that
like Dr. McGill. You know, if you want a shot at the end of the night and you go to the bar, give me a shot of the doctor, Dr. McGillicuddy. It's not give me a shot of the doctor. It's not. It's just too much going on.
Nice to see Jeff Stooley's back in the comments here.
Oh,
First,
good. What do you
to poke
say?
fun of my office, and now he's talking about the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, I told everybody how great your Instagram channel was. I pumped out your Instagram channel. How about some love?
Yeah, you got a little free advertising there, Storley. So that's nice. All right. Well, Storley's going to be in my neck of the woods here soon, so he and I are going to have a cocktail. We'll send you a selfie.
Oh, that's nice. I find out about these things when they're over.
No, I said he's going to be here soon, like next week.
Yeah, like
You want to fly in?
Like it's been planned for a while, is what you're saying.
No, I just got a text today.
All right. Well,
I
thanks,
haven't
Jeff.
answered him. I left him on read. I didn't mean
Oh.
to leave you on read, Jeff. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been under the weather.
That's like the boxer. We should have a whole show on boxer ethics.
Oh, Voxer etiquette. Yeah.
Boxer.
Yeah, there is definitely Voxer etiquette. We haven't gotten into that with John
Yeah,
yet.
but
But
Scott plays my boxer, and then an hour later, there's no reply. And 2 hours, and 3 hours. I'm like, you read it. You listened to it. I see it.
and I'm called a what?
Ignora.
Ignora.
Yeah. We
And then
have
there's the Ricala.
the Ricala. Yeah, because you get the paid
Yeah.
version, you can just say like, "Ooh, say something." I'll just say sometimes nothing just for a while, just so it gets them aggravated. Then I'll pull it back like with something important. What happened? I don't know. I don't remember.
Ricala.
Blah 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 blah. Recall. He goes crazy over it.
Well, let's see. All right, we gotta go, but let's see what we're talking about next week here, real quick. So the masses can tune in. All right,
Masses.
because we know there's lots of you out there. So let's see. Next week, June 17th. All right, topic for next week: how to research profitable land counties from your couch.
Ooh.
Ooh,
There you go. County research next weekend. Next week. Sorry, next week.
Love it.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. We'll chat with you soon. And for those that came tonight, we appreciate it. And for those that asked questions, it's always very fun when you engage. So even you, Jeff. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Cheers.